Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Folks, today I got another watch review for you guys. So this is by a company that goes by the name of Ballast. Ballast is a company that I've reviewed many years ago. If you haven't checked out my video on the Ballast Trafalgar, very innovative design. And Ballast, you know, it's been a company I've had my eye on for quite some time. What's really cool about Ballast is that they're one of many brands underneath their parent company, I think it's the right way of saying it, Dartmouth brands. You have brands such as like Spinnaker, RGMT, Nubeo. I think there's about 7 or 8 different brands. So the cool thing about that is once you find one brand or one watch, let's say you get one watch by Ballast that you really like, you know you're going to get the same level of quality throughout all their brands, right? Or all their different watches, which is great because it opens up a big door to a lot of really cool brands to add to your collection. And if you're like me, you know, I love variety. So let's talk about the watch today. So today I got one of their, this is from their Amphion collection. And so they are military themed watches, or I really lean more towards like Navy themed watches. A lot of their, if not all their watches are kind of themed after either naval submarines or naval ships of some sort, right? So I'm not going to read you too much about the Amphion as far as their story because I am trying to get some more clarification. One thing I've mentioned in a few of the videos is that although they have interesting names that relate to a lot of these seagoing vessels, I a lot of times can't really find the, I guess the idea behind the theme. So we're going to get more clarification, and like anything else, when it comes to brands like this, reaching out to enthusiasts like myself, we all learn from it, right? So again, as far as the quality is concerned, this is a great company and a micro-brand company you should really check out. Again, it's not my first experience with the Ballast brand, and it won't be my last. So you're going to see a lot more from this company and a lot of their other brands as well. If you haven't checked out my video, I've done the RGMT. Check that one out, RGMT Torpedo Automatic, another military-themed brand. And then of course we have Nubeo, which Nubeo is kind of more, I would say more like astronomy themed, you know what I mean, or more celestial themed, right? So check them out, really interesting. I love the fact that this company actually puts some sort of like kind of theme behind their watches, right? So, you guys know I never really get too involved in the unboxing, but with this particular watch, this is probably the, I think, the more entry-level presentation that you're going to get from Ballast. Most of the Ballast boxes are either done like a nice hard wood, or you have your dive case. This is your traditional kind of Invicta-style cardboard box, right? But it is pretty nice on the inside. You have a little bit of a velvet on the inside, of course, a sleeve or an envelope on the inside of the cover, which gives you your, your little write-up about the Ballast brand, which I'm not going to read you guys. I encourage you, like I said with any video, I encourage you to click the link in the description or in the comment section and check out their brand firsthand off their website and really get that information from the manufacturer. When we look behind the foam kind of, disposable sleeve, we just have a kind of a royal blue pillow matching the exterior of the box, and of course that nice velvety microfiber interior. Again, when it comes to watches, one thing I've said in many videos, most of the time I don't really get, remember, it's all about the watch, right? But it is nice if you're going to gift it to somebody, and even yourself, to have a nice presentation, So pretty cool, pretty nice, pretty basic though. So let's talk about the watch. So there is a little bit of a name confusion with this particular one because the other day I reviewed another Amphion which has the helium release valve, and that one was on a bracelet and comes with 2 other straps. You have a silicone and of course a leather strap. This one is their GMT Amphion, and so what I can tell, it's definitely different than the other Amphion. I encourage you to click the link in the description of this video as well, or in the comment section, and I will link to where you can check out the other video I did with the automatic version, Miota powered with the dual, or with the helium release valve. Sorry, drawing a blank. I'm always just so fascinated when I get a watch. I'm just like, oh my god, I get lost. All right, so this one here is done on like a genuine leather strap. More basic as far as the styling is concerned. A lot of their other watches are more, I think, a little more aggressive in the styling. So it's nice they make something for those who don't want something like that. So what I liked about this, and the reason, I'll be honest with you guys, when they reached out, they said, hey, we got these 4 models. I said, is it okay if I pick out the colors? And again, Ballast, thank you for your generosity. And I went with the black because, and here's my story, for those of you who just want the watch review, sorry, but My story is, back in the Jacob and Company days, I had an all black, a black face, black band watch, and it was a 47 millimeter. It was one of the first watches I got where watches started to become larger and larger, right? And I ended up selling it, and because I do prefer bracelet, right? But I always regret not having a black band, black face watch in my collection. So when I saw this one, I actually said, do you have anything on bracelet? They said, we don't, maybe we'll just not send that. And then I saw this one, and I said, you know what, I've been wanting one of those in my collection at the black for a while. So very basic, very clean. What I like about this watch is that for some reason or another, the crystal just almost has like a magnifying effect. It's almost like you're looking through a giant, cyclops almost, which is, not the best way. I know it's not 100% accurate me saying that, but it just has just a very interesting crystal on it. I like the fact it's a really very rounded crystal, where most crystals either have like a 45 on them, or they're a little bit sharper, or they're flat. This has got that really nice kind of almost like Hydromax style crystal, whereas on a lot of the dive watches with an extreme depth rating, they have to have that super large crystal. I like the fact that this is actually sticks up past the bezel a little bit, so it just adds a little bit of an interesting design aspect to the watch. As far as the case material, again, 316 stainless steel, very nice quality, and this one is a quartz. It is powered by a Ronda movement, which is a very well respected quartz movement. What I like about companies like this is that they're not just throwing in some inexpensive, well, I guess it is an off-the-shelf movement, but they're not just throwing in like a no-name movement like you're going to get with a lot of other watches at this price point, right? If you go into big box stores, a lot of the watch you'll see by like, mainstream kind of more fashion designer watches, you're going to pay $250, $300 to go into one of those big box stores. And at least with this, you're getting, the specifics. You're getting this one does have a hardened mineral crystal. It doesn't have sapphire like some of their models, but this is one of their more affordable watches. Now, again, remember when it comes to crystals, hardened mineral crystal, remember, most people are never going to have a problem with the crystal. So just because it's not sapphire for that checkbox, right, for a lot of folks, it shouldn't really dissuade you. If you're not a guy who really is too concerned with that, I don't want you guys to look at what other people have to say about it and say, oh, it has to have sapphire, because it doesn't. I have all kinds of crystals and I've never scratched anything, right? The cool thing about having something that's not sapphire is that, remember, when something becomes harder, right, it becomes more scratch resistant, but it's more prone to becoming shattered. The softer the material, the more impact resistant it is. So something like this is definitely going to be more impact resistant. And honestly, as far as being able to see through it or whatnot, or the clarity, it makes no difference at all. And again, as far as the movement, this is a Swiss Parts Ronda 515.24H GMT movement. So what's cool about this, you have that the extra minute hand or hour hand. And what I love about the GMT movement, I have to say, it's probably one of my most favorite movements across the board, is that you are the ability to actually, in the way that I do it, is I set it to military time. So you'll have your standard, second hand, your standard minute and hour marker. Then of course you have this extra hand. And so that allows you to set this to the military time scale, right? And so on the bezel, they've added the 1 through 24. So really great way to be able to keep, up with your military time. If you are in a job where I've had jobs where in positions in my life where that is the time standard. So military time is always a little bit difficult to get used to at first. Once you're like anything else, you get used to anything. But I do like the fact that you can easily look at this and have your military time as well. Now technically GMT is meant to be set to GMT time, but again, use it how you want to use it. You do have a rotating bezel on this, and I will say again, with the Ballast watches, I never really get too, you guys know, I never really get too hopped up on how the bezel feels. Again, when it comes to quality, it's either good or it's not. And I will say, though, I do like how easy it is to turn the bezel. They are very fluid, for lack of a better word. When I feel this bezel, it just reminds me of, it's very similar to the way my Aquadive feels, Every watch has a little bit of a difference when it comes to how the bezel turns. It doesn't mean one's better than another. It is subjective. Some might like a lighter bezel. What I find annoying on some bezels is if they are hard to turn because they're slippery. So the Invicta watches, if you look at for example, their Grand Diver, it's got like a scalloped edge bezel. really not going to be able to use that. It's really hard to turn. It's a tighter bezel, but it's also slippery. With this, it's a nice, easy to turn bezel. If this is a concern to you, remember, these are not deal breakers for me personally, but for those who do care, it is super buttery smooth, and I would put it up against, you know, watches that cost, you know, $1,500, $2,000 more, right? So let's get the price point. $279 on Amazon. Again, link is in the description. If you want to buy it directly from Ballast, you can do so as well, but they're going to run you $425 on this. So as I always do, I'm always honest with you guys. I encourage you to get it through Amazon. Amazon, if you don't like it for whatever reason, I can't imagine you wouldn't. You know, you can send it back. So let's get a couple close-ups here. You can see the, you know, just very clean, very simple, very just nice quality. I, again, am a bracelet guy, but this one really just takes me right back to that Jacob & Company black on black watch, and I'm so happy I have it in my collection. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have chosen a black bezel, but actually getting it in person, I really like the way it looks. It's just a really nice contrast with the stainless steel. Ballast, or Dartmouth brand, Ballast, Nubeo, whatever you want to call them, you know, they're all different brands under the same parent company, but they are going to send me another RGMT, and that one's got this similar color combination. It is on bracelet, but it's got that big, bold black bezel, and I got to tell you, it's not something I normally would have gravitated towards. After having this in person, I kind of like it. Now, it's not saying that this is the only color combination I'm on yet, so don't take what I'm saying, you know, too seriously. Like, oh, now you're only going to get black bezels, because it seems like sometimes when you say something on YouTube, it's like now it becomes like that's the only thing you've said. So remember, I have like 1,300, 1,400 videos. I learn as I go. I discover, like anything else, anything else with being a human being, our tastes change. We discover new things. You know, remember, just because you guys have seen me do a lot of videos, and I've said many times I love gold watches. I do. I like all watches, and that's what makes it very difficult for me when some of you guys ask, you know, hey, what's your favorite watch? What's the one watch it's really hard for me to pick a favorite. Out of 165 watches, I really appreciate all of them. And there's always a time and a place where I want to wear something different. So that's the nice thing about having affordable watches, is you can afford to do that. Without spending $30,000, $20,000 on one luxury brand, you could have hundreds of watches. And I'll tell you, there's not much of a difference in quality. You know, maybe under macro lens, but that's really about it. What else about this watch? I do like with the Ballast watches that they, from what I've seen on most of their watches that are on some kind of silicone strap or leather, they have the really large classic buckle with that submarine on it. So this was on the Trafalgar, very similar band. And I remember having that watch in the past and stating, man, you know, I really appreciate that buckle. You know, I mean, a lot of watch companies you're going to see will just put just a basic buckle on it. They're like, yeah, you know, whatever. But with them, very bold, very big. And I think with something like this, it's not, you know, it is more of a subdued watch on a leather strap like this. You have that little extra, you know, just kind of sets it apart. So I think it's great. I love it. I think it's classic Ballast, and it's a great looking watch. So without further ado, let's throw it on the wrist. I was actually going to wear the dual, I keep saying dual, the manual blue-faced manual helium release valve version. I had it on earlier because I filmed the video, and I was like, you know, maybe I'll wear this today. And after actually pulling this one out, I think I'm going to wear this one. It's just really clean. And I love the white stitching too. If you're not a fan of, you know, a lot of, I guess, pizzazz on a watch, you like something very simple and not so elaborate, I think this is a really nice way to just kind of add a little extra on it. You know what I mean? It kind of blends with the silver case. You have that silver and black, and this could be kind of perceived as silver even though it's white stitching. I don't know, it just really has a great look. You know, like I said, they could have put just a standard black band on it, but I think that white stitching just gives it a little pop. Meshes well with the indices and the lettering or the numbers on the bezel. Very clean, you know. I mean, this watch, right when you look at it, it has a military vibe. So that's about all I got to say about it. Other than that, you know, 48mm case diameter. If I didn't mention already, 16.8 millimeters in case thickness. Mentioned the Ronda movement already. Again, you don't have that. That might be a deal breaker for some that's not an automatic, but this is one of their more affordable versions. Weight on it, 250 grams and 20 ATMs of water resistance. They do give you a 2-year international warranty. It's clean. It definitely checks the boxes for me on what I'm looking for on a strapped watch. And this is one of those few watches that I have that I don't get. I'm like, all right, well, let me figure out what bracelet I'm gonna put on, or what strap I might put on it next. This one here, I'm gonna leave it alone. It's absolutely perfect, and I absolutely love it. So that's it, guys. Again, before I forget, 7-inch wrist, 185 pounds, and this is what it looks like on a guy my size, my height, my weight. Again, remember, for us guys who get a little desensitized with the size of watches nowadays, 48mm is still a nice size watch without being too over the top. And if you're a guy who's used to wearing your standard kind of Submariner style 40mm case diameters, getting this is going to be really big. And I remember when I first got that Jacob & Company watch, 47 was huge. Now, not so much, but it's still a huge watch with a really nice wrist presence. I mean, check that out. Really clean. Now, if I do throw this on bracelet at some point, if I just want to kind of play around a little bit, I do have an all black plated stainless steel bracelet that might look pretty cool in this. But like I said, guys, I love the buckle so much on this that most likely I'll just be leaving this alone. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, drop me a comment or drop me an email. I'm always here to help. I want to thank Ballast Watches again for their generosity. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to be reviewing Ballast Watches for the foreseeable future on the weekends. You guys will always see different videos on the channel from whatever I decide to come up with. Next couple of weeks, you guys see back-to-back Saturdays and Sundays on Ballast Watches. There'll probably be an RGMT in there as well. Just depends on what gets sent my way and what when I want to release these. But I generally release on Saturdays. So again, sometimes I might throw one up on Wednesdays, but generally Saturdays. But remember, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to be seeing back-to-back videos. So if I can help you guys in any way, answer any questions after you see a video, let me know. Drop me that comment. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day, and take care.